This is the unassembled Dwadder. This is the way you'll receive it in the mail. You got your two bottom halves, two top halves, 6 tubes, 4 silicone cord, 4 bow tie, silicone bow tie, 4 11 zip ties, 11-inch zip ties, and 4 19-inch zip ties, and 3 silicone locks. You got all your pieces set out here. Your 6 tubes, your 2 bottom pieces of the D-ball, the top pieces of the D-ball, 2 silicone cords, 2 locks, 2 silicone hair ties, 2 11-inch zip ties, 2 19-inch zip ties. You have extra pieces to the side. To begin, we're going to start out with your bottom piece, and basically you take your tube and you place it into the big hole. You want to make sure the curved part is facing outward. The zip tie, it has a smooth end and a rough side. You want to make sure the rough side is going to be on the inside whenever you place it into the small hole of the tube. Okay, and you're going to do this all the way until you get all 6 tubes. I'll do this first. And then you just place your zip tie, and you're just going to make sure you hear the little zip just a little bit, and then you spread out your tubes, so therefore you have it all in the center like so. Alright, then you flip it over, and this time you're going to do the exact same thing, but you're going to do it on the opposite side, and make sure your tubes are going from the bottom to the top piece. Don't cross them over, but make sure they're all like aligned together for the top and the bottom. You take your other zip tie, again with the rough end on the inside, place it through the tube, and just go in order. Don't skip tubes, just go directly in order, one after the other. You just pull that on up. Again, rough end, just go just a little bit, and spread them back out. So therefore you see the center of the inside of the bottom part of the D-ball. All right, next you grab the 19-inch zip ties. You're gonna take one, and this is important. Basically, you got 6 tubes, so you're wanting to go on the outside of the small zip tie on the inside, and take it to the center, and then you're going to run it all the way back down to the other hole on the other side of the D-balls, and you're going to come out and you're going to go right to the outside of it. This should be the same on both sides. So just double check to make sure that your tubing on this side is right there and the tubing on the other side is right there between the same tubes. Then you take your other big zip tie, you And then again, this is going to be, I forgot to say this, you're going to have to do this again with the rough side on the inside, so facing away from you whenever you're putting this together. And again, you got the rough side on the inside, and you go over 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so you know that you're in the center of all the tubes again, and you do the exact same thing after clipping this on the top. One nice thing about these zip ties is if you hold this little lever here, you can actually release it and readjust. So if you put it along in the wrong holes or in the wrong sides, all you have to do instead of cutting it, you just hold this lever down and you can take it right back off again. And then you take it down here and you put it right into the center of this hole here. Run it all the way down. And then you got to place it right back out here. So that's what it's supposed to look like. So you got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you got them on both sides. And then all you do is place this side and connect it together too. So again, they're going right through the tubes. And this one's going right through this tube as well. So they're the same on both sides. Once you do that and you clip them on there just a little bit, you just take the small zip tie. Okay. All right. So basically you just take the smaller zip tie, the 11-inch one, and you're going to pull that all the way as tight as you can. So basically all the tubes should be touching together in the center there. And you're going to do that also on the other side as well. So they're all in the center together. Okay. Now you can either take scissors or you can take fingernail clippers. Scissors, you just want to cut pretty close to the top of the zip tie, so that way it has a little short thing there. Now, or you can use fingernail clippers, whichever one you have, and just clip there as well. So now, once you've done that, you're going to take your 19-inch zip tie and you're going to start tightening it. And the way I like to do it is you hold it like so with your 2 fingers. Don't hold this part or you can't tighten it. It will loosen it back up. You take your other hand and you pull. Now the key is not to pull all of it on one side. You want to do it evenly on the other side as well. Again, I like to try to center it in the center here and then just pull. And it'll slowly get tight. And do it back and forth on each side until they're about even, and you'll know it's going to get pretty tight. As you can see, the more you pull, the curve of these tubes will start increasing, so therefore it'll expand the width of your Dwadder. So as you pull, just keep pulling as you see the expansion of the tubes. And again on this side, same thing, just pull and you'll see the expansion of the tubes until you get your Dwadder to look something similar to that. Now, since this lever here is, if you push it, it will release it back again. So if you need to readjust or something like that, all you got to do is push it down. It releases it, allows you to readjust if you need the readjusted size on one side or the other. So you don't have to cut these. All you do is push the lever, and then you can just tighten it back up again like so. So it makes it easy to readjust if you need to. Again, make sure you try to go down the center of the middle hole once you put it on both sides of these of the small zip tie with the 6 tubes. Then you just take this piece and you're going to stick it back down into the center of this hole. And then this one you're going to do the same thing, just take it over it and put it back down to the center. So it's coming back out of this hole right here. So this is the end of it, and I'll show you as it comes through. So you're just putting it right back through in there. Okay, now that's the main body of the Dwadder. Body of it all together. Now you're almost done. You're over halfway through. You got to take these silicone hair ties, and the important thing on these is to make sure you put them all the way over into the white tube. If you put them up here in this crevice, you'll not be able to put on the top at all, because it will keep you from being able to do that. It's real important that you put it all the way down to the bottom, so it's touching the white tubes. Okay, and you want to do that on both sides. all the way down to the bottom to touching the white tubes, not in here. Okay? Leave that like that, and then you take your silicone cord, and this is the top of your D-ball, top of the, to be able to put it on to the bottom of the D-ball on the Dwadder. Take your silicone tube, you place it through the small hole here. I like to line it up with the little hole so you kind of know where you're starting out on both sides. And then once you do that, you got 6 holes. You just basically going to take this tube, run it all the way to the opposite hole. So over here to this opposite hole. Don't run it over here to this one or this one, but all the way to the other side. And you just put it through like so. And then you just pull it on through. The important part on this one is just to try to make them even, so they're about even on both sides. You're going to do the same thing on the other one. Through the hole. And then right across from there, like so. Alright, just like that. Now comes the part where you got to put the top of the D-ball onto the bottom D-ball. Real important on this part is you want to line this up to where this hole here is right in line with this, right before this hole here. So basically the bottom hole on the D-ball needs to be above the top hole of the D-ball. And what you do is you just place the D-ball onto the bottom part, and you may have to use your thumb to kind of push the bottom part into the crevice. Once you see this part right like that, all you do is you push down and then you turn and then let go, and then you should see a hole all the way through. That means that your ball is locked on there and it will not come off. In order to remove it, you got to push down first, turn the ball back, and then you can take it back off. So initially you just place it in there and then you turn it, lock it, and you're good. Then you take the bow tie and you just put that up in there. That will keep you from being able to take the ball back off. In order to take it off, you have to remove the bow tie again before you can actually take it back off again. Alrighty, and then that's what we'll do, the exact same thing on the other side. Again, you're just lining it up and you're pushing in. Like if it's coming out like that, you just take your thumb and kind of push it in there. Like so, just push your thumb in there, holding it from the top, and then you turn it, and there you go, it's locked in there. Alrighty, now all you do is you take your cords, and this is your stop lock. It's got a little spring in it, and what you gotta do is you gotta push it down, then you put your cord in and pull it a little bit out like so. So again, and then you're gonna go one side this way and the other side is gonna come in from the other side. So it's gonna be in opposite directions. Again, you push down, then you put your cord in, and then it locks it in there. Then you can take it and you can pull both sides if you like, and just get the cord to where it's about in the middle, like so. And we'll do the exact same thing on the other side. There we go. And then you just pull it tight, and that's how it is. Now how you work this is you're pulling the silicone cord to where a blanket can slide in there. Okay, if you have a bigger blanket, you may have to push this and release it a little bit more than what you would on a smaller blanket. You just push down and it releases it, and then you can pull it as much as you like to allow for a bigger blanket to get in there. And then once you get it in there, you can always pull both of these sides to tighten it up onto the blanket to keep the blanket from falling off. If the blanket does fall off off the Dwadder during the drying cycle, as long as the blanket's dry, that's okay if it happens. If the blanket's wet, then you may need to tighten it up there a little bit more. Sometimes when the blanket dries, it does slip off a little easier. But that's basically it. That's what the Dwadder looks once you assemble it. Thank you.